How's everybody doing? This is Clifton Raheem Bradley, and I'm with my main man, David Coss,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank
um,
you.
out of California. Out of California, and there's so much that is going on right now,
Oh,
and
boy.
man, I'm looking at the news and see Rittenhouse. I see you looking at the Rittenhouse
Hmm.
situation. That's the individual for people that don't know that
Besides
killed.
besides just the Rittenhouse, I'm also listening to the Congress debate about the new Build Back Better Act. They're going to spend all that money on Sleepy Joe's Green Road Apples deal, and just wipe everything out and take everything away from every small businesses in the country.
You know,
It,
but you know what? I'm gonna
uh,
tell you something. The Green Act, I agree with it, but you know what? But it's good for discussion
Yeah,
because
for discussion, we got to start thinking about it, but we can't just overhaul everything.
yeah.
And
So
this bill, Clifton, this bill's got all kinds of other stuff in it that has nothing to do with green thinking at all. It's just they just put all this stuff in one bill and say take it or leave it. That's what's crazy. That's what's
but
crazy.
but you know what, David? You know what the thing is? I agree with it. I'm gonna tell you why I agree with it. Now this is a good show because you disagree with it. You know why I agree with it? I agree with it because we can't be so dependent on fossil fuels anymore because it is destroying our ozone layer, and therefore that's creating more climate change. But there's
Right.
some people that don't believe in climate change. Okay.
Well, as soon as Antarctica melts, all that ice down there is going to cause a big old change in the climate. So they're not even going to have an argument. They're going to have to realize that they're going to freeze it.
But you say, but you don't agree with the new Green Deal. You don't agree with it. Why not?
Well, it's to say you agree with something, you either have to go with it or you don't go with it. And the Green Deal isn't really well thought out yet. It's a great idea. It's a great realization level that those people have come to, but they don't know how to do it yet. They don't know how to get the whole planet, living and breathing and do things naturally again. They haven't a clue to how that's done, but they do have a good idea there. Green thinking is good.
Because you know what? I'm saying it because you know what, David? I think the solar power. If I lived in like a state where you lived in, California, and
Yeah.
you know what, it's sunny basically the majority of the year, I would be utilizing solar power. And I think it's good not to be reliant. I thought that fracking, even though the gas prices went down, I thought fracking was wrong because fracking means you know what they're breaking up the land with hydraulics to get minerals. And you know what? I thought that disturbed nature. You know the habitats in nature, and you know I love nature, and I think but you disagree with that though. Come on, talk
No,
to me.
no, no. I don't agree or disagree with any of these points you're bringing up. They all make me wonder. But there's so many questions we all have nowadays. About the ones you have are, of course, legitimate. But the Russians docked with our space station and moved our space station out of orbit. And now, yesterday, I just heard that they blew up one of their own satellites, which caused all kinds of debris. And now even our NASA astronauts that are in that space station have to get into the special escape pods in case they got to leave the space station because of debris that hits the space station. So
Mhm.
all kinds of stuff going on all over the place. That's kind of bad.
Mhm.
But I just saw this new movie that's going to be on Netflix. It's called Don't Look Up. It's got
Mhm.
Leonard DiCaprio in it. It's by a big asteroid that comes and hits the planet Earth.
Mhm.
So it's like all this stuff is like coming right in our faces. But how do we deal with all these different things, that are negative?
I mean, how do you deal with it? I think like what you do on the platform that you use, you are educating. people. I'm talking about on your YouTube page, on your Facebook page. You are consistently educating people. So how do you deal with it? I think it's what you're doing. You're preparing people for future events that you say will occur. So you're doing your part. You're
Well,
doing your part. That's like, man, you sent me a video of UFOs, and there was a cluster of UFOs, a cluster of.
thousands.
And what happened? I mean, what was that all about? And we get to Rittenhouse. What was that all about, man?
That was just all I know is from somebody's cell phone, and they're calling home and they're talking with his sister, and they said, tell her sister to have her mom call him on the phone because he said that he's got to have him call. She's got to call him, and it just, it's the moment that those videos capture and what's actually going on. Just like in the Rittenhouse trial, they got videos of what happened that night, and even the testimony from the plaintiffs. They said this is what happened. So, you can't deny it, and we couldn't deny all these craft going overhead either that night. And we can't deny that an asteroid's coming in either. We really can't. So it's like,
yeah.
We can't know who's going to win the football games this weekend, but we do know some things for certain, and those things are going to make a big deal here, whether the football season even ends this year or not.
I mean, but sometimes I look at Fox Television, okay, mm-hmm. But you know what? They make fun of Joe Biden. They make fun of Joe Biden for getting. Hell, I'm forgetting too. At some point, that we all going to forget, and they made fun of him slipping down the stairs and all that. Did you think that's justified to make fun of President Joe Biden because he's forgetting? We all forget. Man, I laid my keys down 2 minutes ago, and I forgot where I put them. Do you think that's justified what Fox Television is doing to Joe Biden?
Well, I heard, Clifton, and now we don't know if this is factual or not, but I heard that Mike Lindell of Mike Lindell's Pillow guy, I heard that he got the goods on the Chinese, that from Wuhan Labs, mm-hmm. He has an electrical transmission that stuffed the ballot machines, the Dominion machines in the different states where Joe Biden was declared the winner and winner overall of the election. So he has the proof now, and he took the passwords to the different governors, mm-hmm. or the attorney generals, and they were appalled that he gave them the correct passwords. So they're taking that case to the Supreme Court to see if they'll reopen it. Now, if they don't reopen it, it'll tell the public that they're all corrupt in the Supreme Court. All the judges are. But if they do reopen it, it'll overthrow the election results, and we'll have to have another election. Mm-hmm. That's what's really going on.
Okay. Now update us about what's going on with the Rittenhouse trial, if I'm pronouncing his name right. That's the individual that walked out with the AK, that machine gun, and right. Killed 3 people that you looking at on the news right now. I mean, that you was looking at on the news. Can you tell the people what's going on?
Well, the gun barrel was short enough that it was legal. He was going to that city because his father lived there and worked there, and he wanted to take care of any problems that the police might have, back them up and whatnot. And he never assaulted anyone. He got assaulted by 3 people who 2 of them ended up getting shot. And the judge is in favor of acquitting the case or throwing it out. So that's probably what's going to happen. But, there's always a few people around that still want to, got an iron in the fire and still got something to crab about, or angry about something or whatever. Never met this kid or never had anything to do with it, but I don't know. There's so much going on. It's like, where do you focus your attention for more than 2 minutes? So I try to put my attention solely on where I'm going and where I think everybody else is going to end up.
But you know what? By saying that about Rittenhouse, okay, do you think it was justifiable what he did to take the lives of those 3 people?
Well, in the case, they go over the first guy that got shot, tried to take his gun away from him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either give your gun to the guy to shoot you or you shoot him. I don't know. I would be more in favor of defending myself if I had been in that situation.
So you're saying it was justifiable what he did.
And the second guy pulled his revolver out and put it right in his face like this, like that. Now, would you shoot somebody if they put a gun in your face like that? I don't think I would.
I wouldn't have any choice.
I have to defend myself, right? And the other guy, he shot in the arm. He shot the other guy in the arm, and he's alive to testify. And he said, and they even asked him on the stand, "Did you go after him first?" And he said, "Yes, I did."
So in your opinion, he should be acquitted.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
Now the people that are calling the judge out for ruling in his favor, or the jurors are a little worried that some of these mobs are going to call their families or their children or accost them or whatever. What should happen in that case is those people should be instantly taken and put to death for intervening in our judicial system. And this is on the books. This is what the law says. If you do anything like that, you will be put to death. This is from 1890s or whatever.
I don't know, man. You know what? I have my perspective, but you know what? You know more about the case than me. Because you know what? I only know on the surface. So you're following the Rittenhouse trial. So which way do you think the jury is going to lean?
Well, that's just it. I don't like to say what I think juries are going to do. So I don't have any idea who's on the jury even. So how can I say what's going to happen? You don't even know the football team. How do you know whether they're going to win or not?
We're just speculating. Though.
Right. I can't speculate really at this point in time because all those different news reporters for the last year have all condemned the guy who's on trial, and even President Biden said he's guilty and should be taken to prison. So before they even heard the trial, so come on, everybody's got opinion. I understand that. Everybody can make a mistake. I understand that too. So it's okay, let's just wait and see whether our jury will make a mistake or not.
That's for the jury to decide.
Well, we leave it to the jury to decide, but it's all karmic. Clifton, when somebody does something wrong and they get off scot-free and they walk, and everybody, like O.J. Simpson, everybody thought he was guilty. Other people thought he was innocent. Right. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any idea. I thought if the gloves don't fit, then we must acquit. So I thought, well, that sounds good to me. But I couldn't see somebody with that high a profile doing something like that to their wife. Murdering their wife. So I thought, I don't think OJ could do that. I don't think he's that stupid. I don't think he's that angry. I think he's got a million girls, and if this one don't want him no more, he don't care. I was thinking it was more like that cocaine involvement with the LAPD out here. Yes. That's how he did her in. But the way the cases go, it's you got to have something. But those gloves that didn't fit, that's why they have.
If it don't fit, you must acquit.
Right.
So, those are the words of the late great Johnny Cochran, who was a great lawyer.
Great lawyer.
And you know what? I don't think.
All that talking they did.
Gotta talk, man. You gotta have your lawyer talk to save your neck, man. But he hired the best dream team. They had who did they have? They had Shapiro. They had the great Johnny Cochran, and I can't remember the other lawyer. But you know what? I did not feel he was guilty. But there's 50% of the population felt that he was guilty.
Of course.
They felt that he was guilty.
Well, in this Rittenhouse case, we have several of these BLM members, anti-FOB members, that feel that Rittenhouse is guilty before he even got his case heard. So, and the news reporters that reported on it, and Joe Biden all thought that Rittenhouse was guilty before he ever had his case heard. So, we've all rushed to judgment and made this mistake. And we're making it even today by rushing to find an answer to the questions we have in our own minds. We
Mm-hmm.
have to wait to see how things are going to come out, especially if we don't have control over it.
No, man, we don't. No, man, we don't have no control over
No
it.
control.
We have
So,
no. We
so
have no. We have no
when we
control over it at all.
when we do have no control, I think we should wait, to see.
I mean, you know what? It's legitimate what you're saying, but I'll say going back to Johnny Cochran, I think he did an excellent job
Oh yeah.
of representing. But going back to Rittenhouse, you know what? You're making me look at it because I will admit that I have been kind of biased. You know what I mean? Because you know what? Maybe, but you have been studying this longer than I have. But it sounds like you're saying that they should have quit him. But you're not really saying that. You say that's up to the jury to decide.
Well, that's what we get to see how things are going. I mean, why are we experiencing all these negative things all of a sudden? I thought this United States was the best place to live, and we had certain rights and privileges that nobody else had in the world. But at the moment, they're all being taken away, and I wonder why, how, who's behind it, who's right, who's doing this to us, Clifton?
Who's doing it? I mean, there's some people that would never believe what I'm getting ready to say, that there's a shadow government that runs this country. So therefore, you look at the president and you think that he has all of the power, but you know what? They're puppeteers that are behind the scenes. They're rich families, in my opinion, that run this nation.
Well,
The Rockefellers, the De Beers, the J.P. Morgans, and then some people that we don't even know about.
Well, George Soros and his nephew Zuckerberg, and there's a few other ones that all are the owners of the food production, the oil, gas production. The telecommunications, the television news channels are all owned by very few people. So there's not a lot of open competition in news and whatnot anymore. The news is all doctored up. It's all the same. All the commentators all use the same catchwords for like a month. Whatever it may be. So it's like, oh my gosh, what am I seeing before me?
But you know what's funny, man? You know what? Thank God for YouTube, but there's certain things that I know that I cannot see on YouTube. So I think they are censored to a greater extent than us, because you know what, they have sponsors, they have managers and all that. But YouTube, it gives you the opportunity, but there's certain things that you have to abide by the community guidelines. And maybe that's just the way it is. So would you say that we all censored to a certain degree?
Yes, but even as children, we're censored by our parents. We're censored by our schools. We're censored by our priests in our churches or wherever we might go. We're all censored to some degrees. And one of the biggest problems nowadays is child slavery.
Yeah.
Child prostitution. They take them as children and they're bringing them over the borders now from the South, but they've been doing it for all time over in Africa and Asia and wherever. They take the children and they sell them off as slaves to the richer people, and they use them as long as they want, and when they're done with them, they kill them. And it's a horrendous thing, and it's something that our society has just closed its eyes to and not become aware of. Just like the Australian problem of our CIA went in there several years back and set up laboratories to produce fentanyl and other opioids. And now there's did you see that? I sent it to you on Messenger. There's a guy that worked within the industry there for several years, and he's coming. He's blowing the whistle on the whole thing. Our CIA set it up, but a group called the Freemasons down there. They're Australians. They're running the whole thing.
Oh.
And he says they've delivered tons to Florida and tons to Europe in the last 15 years. And, but these are problems that are affecting us all. And we know there's an opioid problem here, but we think it's the pharmaceuticals or the doctors that are recommending it too much. No, it's all being carted in from Australia, and that's where it's coming from. And our CIA set it up. So, opioids have that synthetic heroin in them that our pharmacies develop now. That's another thing. And it's all connected. It's all a web, but it's all connected and it's all bad. So what we got to do, Clifton, I've been telling you for a while, we cannot vote Democratic or Republican in the next election. But if you're a lifetime Democrat or a lifetime, you just can't. You can get back to independent thinking, and you can become more conservative or more liberal, but you gotta vote for the new party, and that's with nationofchange.org, and that's for myself, Dave Cox, because it's the only way we're going to make this country work, and it's the only way we can save it from disaster that it's headed towards right now.
You know what, David? I'm gonna tell you something. I believe in another system, but I'm not even gonna say that on that.
Well, we got to get our own acts together in our own cities, and our own regions, and our own districts, wherever we're at, and we can't really rely on this idea that we're going to be taken care of by some government that's going to do something for us. It's like they're going to provide you with medical, food, water, childcare, everything. Come on, man.
Give me a break. What you're saying is, by listening to you, this is more or less almost turning into socialist government. Is that what you're saying?
It is. Well, we know that the socialist government doesn't do what it says it's going to do, but it makes big, big promises. And this is the big promise time right now, when they inflate our budget with billions, trillions of dollars, and it sucks everything out of our system, and we're all left with nothing.
But you know something? I'm going to like to ask you, man, how was Joe Biden wrong? I'm talking about with the New Deal, the New Green Deal, by saying that the people that this will affect is the people that are making over $400,000. And it's known that Amazon and other organizations, multi-million-dollar corporations, paid no taxes because they found the loopholes. So how is Joe Biden wrong?
I've been listening to Joe Biden make his speeches lately, and if you could get through the words, what the words are supposed to be saying, you almost have to ask yourself, what did he just say? What does he mean by that? And then he just leaves the stage. He don't take any questions like all the other presidents did. So I don't really have a lot of confidence in whether he's delivering a rehearsed message or whether he's actually speaking from his heart. I don't know that he knows what he's doing all the time anyway. But I don't have a lot of confidence in either of them, Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. Neither of them have been to the border yet, so it's like, come on, man, give me a break here. Get with it, man. Come on.
You know what, man, for people out there listening, you know what? My brother David got on me. You know what? I used to be totally against sanctuary city. Totally. And David said, man, you made a turnaround. The reason I made a turnaround, because with the withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan and them bringing more Muslims into the United States of America. And you know what? And then I turned into proponent of Sanctuary City. You know what? Because they're going to use entitlements, but you say, I'm a hypocrite. No, brother.
I, I, I have had hypocritical behavior before, but that was only on that day of enlightenment when I realized that I was wrong and somebody else was right. I don't. To be a hypocrite means you persist in your beliefs and you will not change. You and I change all the time. We change every day. When we read this bad news, we change. We change our house. We change. We didn't have to change on OJ, but we changed on a lot of different things. And I just read an article this morning saying how Oprah Winfrey is a demon, and she takes adrenochrome from children and whatnot. And I wrote it underneath. I said, no, she's not. She's looking younger and younger because I sent her my book, Farm Physics, 15 years ago. And then I sent Marie Osmond my videos. And that's why Marie Osmond doesn't weigh 230 pounds any longer. She's doing Weight Watchers because she started spitting her fluids. So, but I'm reading all these different articles that people try to stab, at like Oprah or stab at Trey Gowdy or whoever, and it's like, come on, I think those are the bad people. They're just bad ones, and they're just doing all they can now to even make the good people look bad,
And the people that want to put a comment in the chat room, hey, and that's my telephone number. You can call up if you got a question. I see there are people looking on YouTube, but they're not calling up and putting nothing in the chat room. So I welcome you to do that. I'll join the broadcast. Join it.
Yeah.
Hit on the link and join and come on in. Because you know what? You might agree with him. You might agree with me. You might not agree with nothing that we say. But let me ask you something, man. David, also in the news, there was a young man that went on a work site. Okay. And he was shot. It's in the, you know what? I forgot his name. It's in the news right now. There was a house that was being worked on, and he went in there. And what happened is he was killed because he went, because it was a work site. He was killed by 2 Europeans. He was African American. I forgot his name. It's in the news, though.
Well, this is what's coming up over our border right now. We got 8,000 Haitians, men with knives and clubs just came in last weekend, and they all dissipated into the country. They're not staying under the border like the Mexicans are down there. Wait, they're just coming in, and they got knives and clubs, and they're coming in. They're killing people and taking their cars and houses and everything. So this is terrible. What happened to this one guy, but this will be happening to like a lot more people as time goes on. And these are third world people that came in here with nothing, even clothes on their bodies or shoes on their feet, but they got knives and clubs, and they're looking to get what they don't have, and that's food, clothing, and the niceties that we all have. It's going to get scary, Clifton. It's going to get bad.
As I told you, all this has been prophesied already, brother.
Yeah.
But are they wrong for fleeing the tyranny? In the dictatorship, in the drug cartels that run their country, are they wrong for fleeing that environment to try to get to the United States of America? I know I'm flip-flop, though, but go ahead.
Well, all I can say is from my own self, if that happened to me in my town where I lived at, I'd get out of there too. I'd head any direction, to just get away from that type of thing. But at the moment, it's all over the place. It's coming from Australia into this country. They're funneling in tons and tons of opiates. Our military's been bringing over heroin for years, ever since the Vietnam War. From Vietnam, the Cambodia area, whatnot. So Afghanistan, they make it over there. So it's like our own government known this. Our CIA, our NSA, they've been bringing it in by the boatloads, So when we think about when you ask me about one person, of course I feel bad for him. I feel like I do whatever I could for him, but we got to look at the big picture before we look at the little pictures. There's got a lot of thousands of people dying every day from it, but we got to look at the big picture to cut it off.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'm listening and analyzing what you're saying. Are you also saying that them coming into the country is taking tax money from American citizens that are supposed to be allocated specifically for them?
Of course.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, they're raising our taxes. They're going to take more of your money, and they're going to charge you more for gasoline and for groceries too, and your rent's probably going to go up because your property taxes are going to go up. So it's like, wait a minute, I'm retired. I can't pay more taxes. I can't make more money. It's like they're trying to get us all to shoot ourselves in the head.
Well, what's the answer? What?
The answer is to put me into the president's seat and to quit worshiping all these pagan holidays that are man-made. That's what a pagan holiday is, rather than comes from the creator. And then we have to do the 7 Mosaic feast days. Then everything's going to go nice here. Peace for 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I will change some of the laws by reenacting the death penalty, and that will be replacing all the suckers in the prisons that we've been house clothing and feeding till death do us part, because we can't allow them on the streets. It's going to do more raping, pillaging, and child molesting. So we're going to put those people to sleep and give them a farewell, offing here from the planet. But there'll be some other things, that we're going to redo the educational system, and it'll be much more provisional. I would like to see the wages increased on the minimum side. So the lowest minimum wage you can earn is $30,000 a year, say right now. And we can, not worry so much about the big wage earners because they have plenty of money anyway. But we got to worry about the low wage earners, like us, people right out of service, people that have children and try to provide a house for a family, for a mother and children. But we got to concern ourselves with those things instead of all this bull hockey that I hear these new bills and whatnot that they contain, for infrastructure and restructure and who knows what else,
Well, but you know what? But you're talking about that. But you know what? Going back to what I said, to what I said originally, how is Joe Biden wrong if what he says is, I'm going to pass on those increases to the people that are making over $400,000 that have skillful enough lawyers to find the loopholes to where they didn't pay anything. Amazon didn't pay anything in taxes. I could bring us some other corporations, but how is he wrong?
Well,
if that's the reason,
all these different politicians, they'll pull something out of here or pull something out of here, and they'll say, "I'm going to do this to make this right." Mm-hmm. Right? There's so many problems around nowadays. You can pull any problem from out of wherever and say you're going to do something about it, and then whether you do it or not, who knows, just like Joe Biden got into office, and they're saying, well, he got into office because he was so giving to both sides, and he was going to work with the Democrats and the Republicans and the independents. He's not at all. He's doing just whatever he wants, and he doesn't give a diddly do about the problems that are constantly getting worse and worse every day here. Inflation, gas prices. What about those boats off the harbor? It's like, holy toly. He has a good show, but he's got no essence to his policies or anything.
I would say myself, the infrastructure deal, if that's what it is, putting people to work, taking care of broken bridges and rebuilding roads. And I read the other thing is they will start making more automobiles where they can plug into electrical grids, and they're going to put more electrical grids up to lower the carbon. I'm talking
Right.
about carbon. I'm talking about the carbon emission. So I
Well,
say it's good. I say it's good because I just think the dependency on coal and gasoline that it ought to be minimized. But you are right. But he did say one thing. But you got to remember one thing. It was a bipartisan deal. Do you agree with that?
oh yeah, yeah. He's trying to talk to both sides at the same time. It's like talking out both sides of your mouth at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You say two different things. But the biggest problem that I see at the moment is the COVID-19. Anthony Fauci getting drilled by the different senators, and the CDC changing the descriptions now for what it is and what. Now, if everybody's still walking around with masks on next year, we're all getting bullshitted. They're pulling this crap on us, and it doesn't really matter. How the taxes are going, what the gas prices are, when there's no food around. If we still got these stupid masks on our faces, we're the dumb ones. We deserve what we're getting.
Can't say you know what.
Can you agree with that?
I believe we deserve what we're getting, but you know what? The reason I can't say anything about it is, hey man, I'm a veteran, and you know what? I wanted to go take my booster shot yesterday, so
You still got to wear a mask.
yeah, you still got to wear a mask.
You still got to wear a mask. You get three booster shots. Anthony Fauci says 3 booster shots. You still got to wear a mask.
There's only one booster shot. It's only one booster shot. That's what Pfizer had. Pfizer had one booster shot.
Moderna's got the 3, the triple round.
Okay.
So you go with Moderna, you get the 3 of them, and you're good to go. You're good to go for 10 years, I guess. Before you got to go back and get 5 more.
See, you know what? The rate of COVID is going up in Illinois. It's going up. But you know what? I figured I understand. Let me say, people should do what they want to do.
Right.
They should do what they want to do. But that's what I did. I went on to the VA hospital, and you know what? Yesterday, when I was talking to you. That was the reason. Yesterday, I was on my way to the VA hospital in Chicago to get my COVID booster shot. But you say some people believe in it, some people don't. You should do what's right for you. But
right.
The thing is, you know what? When I look at the news, I don't think the problem is going to really, really, really be solved, because you know what? Everybody, 100% of the people, they're not going to take the shot. But they have religious reasons. They have health problems, and so all I'm trying to do is just minimize it in my life. But people out there, listen, I did it, but you should do what you want to
do. Yeah. Everybody do whatever you want, because you're going to get out of it just what you put in life, So, but that's the main problem at the moment. Still, we still got these, like I say, these COVID masks on, and it's hard to think about anything else. But I see on the NFL every Sunday all those thousands of people in the stadium with no mask on, yelling, screaming, and spitting all over each other.
I
know they ain't all got vaccinated, and I know even if they had, they should have their masks on, according to Anthony Fauci. So, like, all right, I'm done with it. Game's over. No more of this bull hockey. No more.
I ain't gonna say nothing to you. YouTube and taught me my lesson. People, do what you want to do. Did you? Damn.
I've heard it long enough. We ought to move on to something else now. What's the next greatest thing? Well, the asteroid coming in.
Yeah, people. You know what? It's something that you said something about the economy, and you said you should up the wages. But I want to ask you something. If you're going to up the wages, how can you compete with China that brings goods to the United States of America, and they don't hardly pay their workers anything? Okay,
right.
But over there, that's a lot of money. How do you compete with China? China is a juggernaut.
It's the same with compete with any country. How you compete with Africa? They got all the minerals, the gold and the diamonds. How you compete with them? Well, they keep the people in barefoot and slavery over there, digging out the stuff for them, and all the rich people take it and sell it. It's like, oh my God, that's the same thing they do over in China. They keep the people enslaved over there, working for just rice and beans every day to eat. But over here, all of our financing has all been under the table. They've used all of our tax dollars to build the underground military bases, the tunnel systems, NASA, to put 65 military bases in the world and equip them with men and military equipment and whatnot. And then they just spent how many millions of dollars over in Afghanistan, leaving all that equipment over there for the Taliban. It's like, I'm just telling you, Clifton, we wouldn't have to work more than 1, maybe 2 days a week, and we could have it all here. But we need someone in office who will do this for our people. And I am the man to do that for you all.
But going back to what I originally said, China has a different economy. How do you compete with the goods that they can ship to the United States of America? And because it would be less money. Because there's nothing that you have on that is made in the United States of America. Nothing you have on. How can you compete with somebody that has a GPD that is so low and then upping the wages in the United States? How can you compete with China? How? How can you compete? And and they can mass produce something and sell it for a fraction of what you're selling. How?
Well, it depends on what you're producing and what you have available. If you are the only country in the world that can grow food that can be eaten, then it wouldn't matter what country was making the computer parts or what country was making the airplanes or what country was making anything, because they all would have to come to you to get food to eat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When the United States, when we convert back more to a green economy and start to strive for those things, we're going to put into place the instruments that'll make it so we are the number one production of foods for the world. We'll grow everything here. We'll harvest it all, and we'll package it up, and we'll ship it overseas to whoever wants it. But they'll have to lower their prices to adjust to what they want from us. That's the food of the planet. So we'll have the main resource here.
What I'm saying is, what you're saying that. Are you saying that we can compete if they're making products
sure.
at a fraction of the cost that we make? Because if I see a product that's the fraction of a cost of American product, I'm going to buy the one from China because I'm trying to save money. So how can you compete? How?
All that's happened, Clifton, is someone has gone over there and put up a pole building and put inside the necessary manufacturing pieces and just hired these people right out of the fields to come sit at the counter and put those pieces in place, solder them in, and put out a product like the laptops that Dell puts out. And so of course this is a no brain situation, So, but the economics are such that it complicates things and makes it real difficult for everybody to understand how to compete or what's going on. So, these companies over in China and over in India or wherever, they're all put over there by finances from the United States, So, financiers. So, our own people are doing the double back around shuffle, to make more money off us, but we just have to X them out. We have to start making whatever we want, just like China has been doing us.
But you know what? Going back to what I originally said, if you are making it and it's being shipped into the country and it's a fraction of what you produce it for, how can you compete? How? We're not competing. Let me put it like this, man. Okay, if your product costs $5 in the product from Hong Kong or Japan or China costs $2, which product do you think I'm gonna buy?
Well, they do, they put a tax on it. They put an import tax.
Mm-hmm.
this country says if it's only $2 and ours sells for $5, we put a $3 import tax on it, so yours going to sell for $5 too over here. So it's both going to be $5, and then we're going to endorse only our product. So yours going to go, you're going to go bust, But don't even bother because we'll put a tax on it. That's what we do with our government. Mm-hmm. Our government does that.
Mm-hmm. Does it? Does it concern you that China is a juggernaut? That China is making cyber attacks. They're notorious in making cyber attacks against the United States of America. And does that bother you that they are increasing their cyber attacks? China, they're a juggernaut, though.
Not really. I mean, the people that put the computers together originally, and we've been working with Japan on different big mainframes and whatnot, and all this talk about cyber attacks and whatnot. Yeah. I have my doubts as to just the validity of it and the degree to which it actually happened. It may all be staged. I don't know. I haven't seen anything actually go down. I've only heard of things going out temporarily, and that could just be a shut off, just so they can get the story going that so and so has this ability, and we have to protect ourselves. And it's the same type of thing that the old psychology where like the CIA would go in and start a rumor in a country that the leader was corrupt or whatever, and then have some assassins go in and kill him, and then put in the paper there that he was taken out by the People's Republic or whatever, that they put in their own leader, and that's how they take over countries. So it's like they set up everything like this. So I don't know whether it's all good or all bad or what's really going on. But
I mean, does it bother you that China is flying over Taiwan uncontested? Does it bother you that China is making man-made islands so they can have military bases? Does it bother you? Do you think about it or not really?
Yeah, kind of. But it also bothers me that Russia is arming they're bringing tanks and whatnot up on Armenia and whatnot now too. A lot of it's always been that way. The big guys are always pushing the borderline, sort of pushing the goalpost, so to speak, and on the little guys. So we, at the moment here, have enough problems, concerns, and things going wrong in our own country that we really should keep our mind on our own, wagon, so to speak, and not worry so much about what everybody else is doing in the world.
So are you saying that we should have a nationalistic view?
I believe we should.
Let me ask you that question. Are you saying that we should have a nationalistic view and NATO does not matter anymore? I'm listening to you.
Yeah, I believe we should have a view of take care of ourselves first and make sure every man, woman, and child has enough to eat and is educated and working, and we're living in a system that provides for itself. We have to have an independent system here. We can go into a group like the United Nations or a world trade monopoly of trade and whatnot, but we have to first and foremost consider our own country and our own members here, and that's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. And Ms. Chrissy, I want to thank you. If you have something you want to put in the chat room and other people that are listening, you want to call up with a question here, you might not even agree with us, but it's okay. Yeah. Okay. But then you know what? So China, do you agree that they're the next? Do you think that there's validity to that the leader of China says that at some point they're going to reunify with Taiwan, whether they want it or not? And the U.S. should not, if they get involved, there's going to be problems.
Well, everybody on the planet's going to have big problems real soon when Nemesis Nibiru comes over. Bigger problems than they've ever even imagined. They're looking at the little things that they can do, but they don't know what this is going to do to everybody. It's going to rotate the planet 70 degrees. It's going to maybe make all the snow on Antarctica melt if it's up here with North and South America on the equatorial line. But, then I'm not really worried about what somebody's going to charge me too much for or think they're going to have, the bigger rockets to come over and bomb us with, because it ain't going to be like that anymore.
But
survival.
There are some people that are worried because there's some people that are living right now with no electricity.
Yeah, right.
And there's some people living with. We're blessed. We got electricity. We got heat. There's somebody living, and they will, take that China product that costs less than what it costs to produce in America because they're trying to survive.
Right.
They're trying to survive.
Well, like the Dell Computer Company, they put all their online maintenance people you speak with are over in India. When my Dell computer needs to be serviced or upgraded, I call on the phone and I talk to a guy in India, and he tells me what the weather's doing over there. So, but how did Dell get over to India? Some representatives from this country went over there and set it up and got them working for us for like a third of the price. And they're real smart people, but it's cheaper for Dell to have the service end over in India than to have it over here. It's crazy. It's all political, though. It's all political. And like I say, it all comes down to us getting ripped off on our taxes for the last 50, 60, 70 years, every year to build these underground military bases for NASA to fly and to have 65 military bases around the world. We're paying for that. And we're paying for these damn immigrants coming in the country, too. They want to give them $450,000 each, especially if they've been separated from their children. It's like, come on, man. Get with it, man. What's going on?
I made a turnaround. People that is listening, I'm for Sanctuary City. I made a turnaround. And I'm saying it because Muslims from Afghanistan, and I'm going to clap for Joe Biden. Thank you for letting in Muslims from Afghanistan that are fleeing tyranny come into the United States of America. So give it to them. You know what? They've been doing it anyway.
Joe doesn't do everything wrong. He does a few things right, but I don't know. I heard this morning his ratings were down to like 29% or something, so it's not looking good. And you know what else I heard?
He's got 3 more years.
But I heard Kamala Harris and him never have gotten along, and she never liked him, and he never liked her. So it's like they've come farther and farther apart.
See, but Joe is smooth. You know why he's smooth? He know how to work with the Republicans and the Democrats to get what he wants. So therefore, he said, damn, I ain't worried about Fox Television. Shit, the hell with them and all the naysayers. He's still getting what he wants. So Joe is smooth. Far as I'm concerned. But right. As far as I'm concerned, he's old and he forgets. Damn it, I forget too. I told everybody I might sit my keys down 1 minute ago and forget where I put them at.
Right. Well, the one other thing I wanted to mention, you've heard about cloning, haven't you?
Yeah, I've heard about cloning. I'm telling you, educate us.
Well, cloning is when they produce a human right next to you that looks just like you, mm-hmm. and then supposedly they can wake it up and have it put on clothes and go out and do whatever you do mm-hmm. or whatever you did, and you just get to lay there in a state of rest and whatnot, but what I've heard is that they got like several of these clones of different people, like mm-hmm. Hillary Clinton or who else was it? Somebody says there's a clone of walking around. I think, man, oh man, Governor Newsom. I hear he's making an appearance or something somewhere. But then for 2 weeks I've been hearing he's been out of the picture that the military took him to Gitmo for a tribunal, along there with Governor Cuomo. So it's hard to know what we're seeing on television, whether it's there or not.
I've always been that way.
In that Rittenhouse case, the defense today, the judge says, because you guys gave photographs to the accused defense that was doctored by the computer and
Mhm.
enhanced to a degree that it wasn't even what the photo was. He goes, I'm throwing all that stuff right out. He goes, that's not evidence. They just found that out today, that the defense is trying to use doctored, computerized evidence to support their point. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. That's so bad.
Sounds like you see he's going to get acquitted.
Yeah, he
You know,
probably will. Oh,
he's going to get acquitted.
they could retry it if they're that stupid to do it again, but I don't think the state wants to pay for that. So but all these different cases we're seeing, whether it's the Rittenhouse case or all the riots and whatnot we've been experiencing, it's all from our own creator, God, showing us how bad it can get and letting us know that it can get a lot worse if we have China come in and invade us and bomb us to hell and high water. So he's giving us this choice, Clifton, and he's trying to make it obvious to the people, but a lot of people aren't catching on yet. They blame it on this, they blame it on that. They say it's Joe Biden's fault or Kamala Harris. And, I agree with them. Those two people shouldn't be in those two seats of power, but that isn't the problem. The problem is what everybody's doing is confused and chaotic.
But wait a minute, you said they shouldn't be there, but they won. They won.
Well, they want, if you want to believe that Wuhan, China didn't intervene with the Dominion machines and overthrow our voting that night, then I guess they did win. But if you want to face the facts that like I say, we know now about the intervention in our elections, Donald Trump should have won, and he may still win if we have another election, a fair one, but we don't know who won. Nobody knows who won.
Okay. It's the news media. I understand what you're saying, but it is good. It's good to hear what the other side thinks now.
Right. I always like to hear all of the sides before I say which one I'm going to weigh in with.
You know what? There's some things that Donald Trump did that I agree with, but I kind of lost respect. When he stood up here and made fun of a man that was handicapped, okay, and he has horrible clothes. He said, how am I going to know this guy? This is over 20 years ago. And you know what? I take offense to that. You know why I take offense to that? Because I have somebody in my family like that. And I don't know, him groping women. And you know what? And you know what? I have a problem, but there's some things that he did that I agree with. But him making fun of that handicapped reporter, hey man, that was distasteful to me.
Well, we could all say there's something about everybody that we don't like, but I thought the Stormy Daniels story was one of the greatest ones. He never even met that woman, didn't know her, and she got $125,000 out of him for just to shut up and leave him alone. He just said, "Okay, I'll sign the check. Get her out of here. I don't want to even see that stupid woman."
But
Donald, you're in a position like that he's in, and you're running for an office like he was running for. You got to figure you got to take some flack, from the other side. They're going to do this to you.
Yeah, you got something in there. Archery is away. Archery is away. So I don't know exactly what they mean. Archery is the way. Okay. So you know what? Thank you, brother. Thank you for leaving something in the chat room. Thank you, brother. I don't know what archery is the way means.
Okay. Well, maybe it has something to do with like shooting an arrow. You gotta get it together and launch it, and then see that arrow go right to the point.
This is probably the last thing on China. China has a new hypersonic missile that they say went around the world, and they say it makes the United States susceptible to a nuclear attack. Did you read that? Or did you know about that? Or not really.
No, I hadn't heard that yet. I hadn't heard that. But anything that is rocket propelled can fall out of the sky. We know that. So it just matters whether it's got a nuclear warhead on it or not. I guess since the Galactic Federation's got their eye on everything and everybody here. But that stuff I sent you on the moon, the most stuff, 1968, the astronauts commenting how they saw lights on the dark side of the moon when they went around there. There's been bases up there since then. And I don't know whether it's Nazi gray greens just taking over a orbiting satellite, the moon, from the Earth at that time when they did. I don't know that it's just gray greens up there at the moment. I don't know what they're doing, but there's something going on. But what Joseph's told me is the Galactic Federation has a lockdown on everybody up there, or anything that's up there. So the good guys have taken the lead. So that's the best I can convey at the moment. But just to let everybody know, there's no worry about space invaders coming down and wreaking havoc on the planet Earth. That's the bull hockey line and the Hollywood, so to speak, lingo. Don't believe it. They're here to help, and they're our friends.
Song used to go, "Don't believe the hype."
Don't believe the hype, right? Don't believe the hype.
I don't know if that was Ron DMC. I don't know who that was. But you know what, brother? Tell us, can you sort of give us a picture of what is going on in California about the gas prices, people homeless? Can you give us a picture of what's going on in California?
Well, I'm not sure about San Francisco area. I know Los Angeles, Governor Newsom has taken out of our taxes the money to put all the homeless people that will go into hotels and pay the hotel accommodations for all the homeless out here. Yeah. Venice Beach is empty, though. This morning I walked out there and there's nobody sleeping outside on Venice Beach. So it looks really nice and clean out here, but it's coming out of our taxpayers' pocket here. The gas prices are $5 and
$5 a gallon. You say $5 a gallon for a gallon of gas?
That's what my roommate said last night when he came home. He goes, "It's almost $5 a gallon," and he goes, "I can't believe it. I just filled my car up." I said, "Oh my God!" I haven't seen the prices. I mean, they vary from around town somewhat, but he's going, "It's getting close to $5." So and the food prices are getting expensive out here too. And this is supposed to be the breadbasket of the country, where they grow all the vegetables and fruits and everything. And right next to Mexico, when they bring it all in, and it's getting outrageous. When you spend $7 for a hamburger,
you got to be kidding.
Well, it isn't that it costs so much. It's just the dollar don't buy so much no more. And they shrunk the food down. So you get half the food for twice the price. So, but it's the economics. It's the economics, and we're feeling this squeeze from the big guys. They're doing this to us. And it's the kind of thing that it kind of pisses you off after a while. If you're a hardworking kind of guy like us, you can't afford to eat a decent meal, and you've been working all your life. What do you have to show for it? Nothing. So I can see. I've been hearing about. They've been doing certain paybacks. On the international level, like to different countries and whatnot, for funds and whatnot. And it's all a bunch of mumbo jumbo to me. But we'll have to wait and see how the whole currency thing goes. I actually, Clifton, I would like to print up our own currency again and have it all backed by gold on every dollar. So make the dollars probably worth a lot more, but it would it would spend a lot better. And see, the thing about it is we could just buy things that we make and manufacture over here for a few years to build this system back up to a point where then we can go and negotiate with other countries that make certain things and say, well, we want that. And they say, well, yeah, we want some of what you got. And we'll say, well, let's come to a fair agreement now.
Yeah. We got a comment from Miss Christie. She said, "You two crack me up, but speak some damn good information. God bless you two brothers. Hey, join the conversation. Hit that link and come on in."
Yeah, come on in. We want to
All
hear
you
from
gotta do is
you.
hit the link. Get the link. But thank you, sister. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. And all you gotta do is hit the link. You can come on in. But that comment, I'm gonna leave it up for a little while because you know what? I like that. But so I understand California. No, you gotta be kidding, man. $5 a gallon.
Yep, yep. And you got to drive a long way to get to work here in LA. I'll tell you, you got a long way to go. Some people are driving like 2 hours to get to work and back.
Damn, how much is it for a 1 bedroom apartment?
Well, it's like anything else.
You know where you live.
You got to know where to live at. You got to know some people when you find where you want to go, and you got to wait for the opportunity to get in. You can't just walk into town any day and get an apartment. In Venice here, it'll cost you probably at least $2,000 to $3,000 for a one bedroom apartment.
I had to get that. I had to be married, bro.
And that's only rent for one month.
I have a partner.
Yeah, no, I've been here for like 30 years, so I know the people, and I know where to go, and I always get in for a real reasonable price. But I'm getting out of town here soon. I don't know when, but I got to get out of here. It's not a good place to be on the water's edge when the planet flips 70 degrees.
I'm talking about the money, man. The money.
Well, they just keep sending us more checks in the mail out here. Social Security or whoever, the government keeps giving us more donations for back to work or to help you get by or whatever. They're just printing up more money.
Well, shit, I mean, they're in the more money they print up, those are fiat dollars anyway.
Right. And it drives the amount down for you buying it. That's why had less cost you $5. It used to cost $1, or $1.50,
Yeah, fiat dollars.
Yeah.
California, you were saying something about the homeless. You said they putting them up in hotels, though.
Yep. All of them. I mean, and there was a lot of homeless out here at one time last year. The whole beach, right out my front yard, everywhere is covered with homeless people. Now they're all gone. Where'd they go? The hotels. The LA people are all paying for it.
They're not working. They say they living better than some people that's barely making it up.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Well, our news doesn't cover the problems our society's experiencing or has experienced. They don't cover the way that the families are living and the levels they're living at, and what they're eating and whatnot. All these subjects would be really good for newscasters to delve into, like a 3-part, 3-night, expose on what's really going on in our United States today.
You know what, man? They're not gonna do that. They so busy showing you how somebody got little features of how somebody won a yo-yo contest.
Yeah.
How somebody swept the streets, but you know what? But our country is in a deficit. Okay, we lost jobs. We on the verge to China taking more control over the planet. The homeless, the gas price, but they talking about little things that don't really make any difference. But do you think that's done intentionally to keep the people dumbed down?
I think the people are already dumb, and there's a lot of people that are down. But there's some of us that are highly intelligent, like you, Clifton, and myself, and even though I come from a farm in Iowa, and you come from somewhat of a difficult background. Yeah. We've still risen above our situations, and we're doing fine today. So it's not like it's a bad place or a good place. It's just a place that is going to require some work and some diligence to get back in shape again. And once we get it back in shape, I'm not going to let it go to hell in a handbag and let the gangsters come in and rip everybody off of these lottery tickets.
Let the GDs and the gangster disciples come in. That's
let Las Vegas run rampant again, and and bring more and more this opiates and and synthetic heroin onto the market through the pharmacies. I'm not going to let that happen because, once we get it back, we're going to have peace for 1,000 years. And the only way to do that is to do it the right way.
Yeah, man. So, you know what, David, how do people get in contact with you? How do they join your YouTube page, your Facebook page? I'm going to put a link once I get this straightened out. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube page and his Facebook page. And will you go on other people's shows?
Oh, I go on whenever I get the opportunity, but I like this show the best. This is when you go on people's shows, Clifton, they shoot questions at you and they talk negative and they talk about negative things, but we always talk about positive things here, and we always have positive, all positive. So I like to stick to this channel. But anybody out there, go to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/C as in Charlie /David L. Kaas, Kaas as in Sam. And you can see a whole different types of videos on my YouTube page. I've got the new cure for cancer and everything else. Talks about the new molecular south-spun electron fluid concept, as well as some my past presidential campaign videos on there. Plus, we put these on as well. But just go to my YouTube channel and you can leave a comment on there if you like.
Let me give my little plug. My little plug, you know what I do, a television show called The Underground Railroad Television Show that comes on Comcast Television in Chicago every Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. Central Time for those that are bootlegging. Okay? and also we have a video production company, which the link will be at the bottom, whereas if you want something filmed, you want something edited, you have birthday party or something like that, or you might want a television show. I love to create television shows. So that's what we do. And my telephone number is there. But like I say, but do get in contact with David Kaas, because you know what? He would be a great guest to have on your show, on your platform. He would. And I'm honored to have him as a partner, and we do a show. I'm gonna say almost every week, but sometimes we had to look at our schedule stuff. But I'm honored to, do this. I really am. And I tell you thank you, because you know what? Hey, I might not get the opportunity to tell you thank you again. Only Allah knows that.
Thank you, Clifton. You come a long way, brother, in the last 15 years since we met. You got all these things down. And, the more we learn, the more we want to learn. And that's the way it goes. The smarter you get, the dumber you feel, it's not working like that. You're improving every day. Thank you, sir.
And, I learned to stay away from selfish people. You know what? I have seen some people in this business, man. You know what? They want you to they want to use your platform, but they don't want to share their platform. And that's their right to do what they want to do. But once I find that out, I don't disrespect them, though.
See ya.
Okay, I don't disrespect them.
No.
But I just, you take the high road, I take the low road. You take the low road, I take the high road. But I just leave you alone once I find out it's a one-sided relationship.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to be biased. Reciprocal relationship.
People have to work together.
It has to be this long word. It has to be a symbiotic relationship. And I have learned, man, you know what? So many things about how people use and manipulate. And but see, one thing about it, you may do that, but the Lord above knows what's going on. To all the naysayers and all the people that put me down and said I wasn't going to do that, I was bad, but you know what? Thank you. Because you know what? You gave me encouragement.
Yeah.
To go further than what I ever believed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're going all the way. We're going all the way.
All praises to Allah. This is Allah's will. All right, brother. So I got to go. I
All right.
got to get on off. Hey, I'm going out tonight. I'm gonna take the wife out tonight.
Excellent.
So if it's Allah's will, if I make it up out of here. So it's good, man. It's good, man. But like I said, thank you, brother. And I'm glad to be a teammate. I'm glad to be working with you. And again, it's the last time I'll say it. People that have shows, you know what? Go to his website. Go to his Facebook page. Go to his YouTube page and extend the invitation for him to come on your platform because he will be listening. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Clifton. Have a fantastic day.
You too, my brother. Take care.